We're live on YouTube.
Yay. Okay, so
Getting away, like, just let me know when it's ready. Hey,
I know. Well, it's that thing too that I can't stand, where people are looking around. We are totally live. Hey, everybody. I'm Michelle, and I own Triangle Social Media. I have to like close this window because otherwise it's going to be really distracting. How's everybody doing today? We are doing social soundbites with Michelle, and that is basically just inviting some of my friends, some business people in my community, and meeting new people, inviting them on just to have a little conversation and learn about what they do, why they do it, how they do it, and share more of their story. And so I'm really excited to have Jenny Midgley here today, and she is an expert in her field, definitely, and we definitely crisscross in a lot of networking events and people, some of the same circles. And, you know, that's really fun. That's all about building relationships, right? We should enjoy what we do and who we do it with. So I would love to just invite Jenny, go ahead and tell us about you, what you do, and your business.
awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me today, Michelle. Yes, I am a digital content specialist and a brand and marketing photographer. So I help my people get seen and stay seen by their and engage with, most importantly, engage with their ideal clients and customers through creating content that sells without being salesy. So I do that through, I have a signature program called Stories and Strategy, where it's offered both in an online course, group format, as well as one-on-one consulting with me, where we do a deep dive into how you develop your story, what is that supposed to look like, how to create content effectively for whichever platforms you need to be on where your people are. Most importantly, only the platforms where your people are. And then we develop a strategy for you to push out that content in a way that's authentic and, you know, speaks to people instead of throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Absolutely.
And I can also take a
I've
picture.
heard you say that. So what is, you know, there's a lot of things that you do. You just listed a lot of it. So what is your favorite part about what you do? What would you say are the highlights?
My favorite part about what I do is really the connection with my clients. So it's more than just the, like for me, I really get fired up when my clients have aha moments and they see a breakthrough. Like I have a client that's from pre-COVID, still has like 2 hours left on his contract with me and doesn't have time to see me because like in our second or third session, he had one of these breakthrough aha moments and has taken off running. And he's like, well, I don't need you anymore. And I'm like, well, like I want to, you know, like we still have a couple hours. Like, do you want, but he doesn't have time. Right.
That's kind of a good problem to have.
Right. It's a good problem to have. So I really, I feel empowered for myself when I see other people succeed. And so for me, it's more about that that element with my clients and knowing that they have really awesome stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it's also really cool for me to see when on the photography side, like when we have a plan and it happens.
Right.
Right? Like we have a strategy for their session. We have a shot list. We have stories that we're going to tell. We have stuff that we're going to do. And then like when I get the feedback of, you know, this is exactly what I wanted, you know, you totally got what I was saying. You know, this is, I have a realtor client who, you know, each of her quarterly sessions, we focus on something else. But the great thing is that we can, she'll be able to repurpose that content even a year from now. Like she'll be able to take some of the same pictures that we did today. And that's what I did in our last session. I told her, I'm like, I'm kind of like, like working myself out of a job, right? Because you're going to be able to take these. This is going to be evergreen, but that's okay. She's like, no. I'm always going to come up with new ideas. We're still going to keep doing this every quarter. And I'm like, okay. But, you know, at some point, you know, she may say, you know what, I'm good for now. And then I know that we've really created a great, uh, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a great resource library for her to go back to.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's wonderful, really. So you mentioned quarterly, and so when you talk and strategize with your packages, is that one of the things you offer, like some kind of a package where they see you every quarter of the year and then get different photos taken?
Monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, whatever your business needs, we will set up. I have a subscription service for that.
And what are some of the things that with branding photography, I think people have a general idea, but what are some of the things that you want to communicate to a business owner's clients with that brand photography? Like, what's the message?
Right. So it's really about how you're creating an emotional connection with your clients. So if you are someone, you want to speak to your target audience, no matter what you're doing. You want your message to be consistent and clear. And if like, we'll use me, for example, like I am totally a goofball, and it's totally fine. Right. Like I do videos and I make missteps, like not paying attention when the thing goes live. And I'm like, and
Me
Michelle,
too.
and I roll with it, right? Like people know I've established that expectation, right? So it's really about establishing the expectation,
Okay,
meeting or exceeding it. So when you're talking about photographs and you're the kind of person who's sitting there at 9 o'clock at night going, oh crap, I haven't posted today, and come up with something really like cheesy that doesn't speak to your audience, you may need a brand photographer, right? Like you may need someone who can help you create a foundation, because I'm not going to follow. I mean, you can pay me to follow you around 24/7. That's cool, but I'm likely not going to, right? So you still need to know how to create that content when I'm not around, and you need to be able to pull from this library so that you can say, okay, on this day, I'm going to post about this. And you already have it. Like you're saving yourself time and money because you're able to create batch content. So it's like threefold, right? So it's about investing your time and your money in a way that's going to give you a high ROI for your business. It's about creating engaging content for your audience. And it's about showing who you are and how you do. Because that's the element that's going to really get those buyers in, get those purchasers in, get the people who use your product or service. It's going to be about who you are, right? Because if there's 30 people that do what you do, what are you showing that's setting yourself apart? And if all you're doing is using stock photos or ineffectively putting yourself out there, I have clients that will say to me, I post 3 times a day, and I've done that for a year. And I'm like, and I do an audit and I'm like, it's not the quantity.
Right.
It's the quality.
Absolutely. I love what you said about authenticity too, because I think that's so important. And I appreciate that about you. I think it's fun to watch your videos. Definitely. You're down to earth and just real and laugh. And that helps people to know who you are. Because I mean, I was talking recently about sometimes you need to create videos that are, more professional. If you're doing like a tutorial, and you might reuse that to teach people, excuse me. But I think that the natural conversations are just, that help people see, hear, your voice inflections and your, facial expressions. And that's how they can get to know your brand using video. And also, pictures that capture, as I've seen, looking at the pictures that you shared or people that I know that you've done their stuff, and it just kind of captures like a certain look or position or something about their personality that comes out that you can't really get from like a pose for this picture kind of thing,
Right. That's not my thing. Like if you want gorgeous, hand edited, I mean, not to say my pictures aren't pretty, but if you want something that like a photographer is going to spend 5 to 6 hours hand editing your photos in Photoshop so that they are worthy of being put on a billboard, I have great photographers I can refer you to. Right. Like my stuff, I know people.
Yeah.
And that's great, but that's not because I don't enjoy spending 5 to 6 hours hand editing photos.
Right.
That's not why I do what I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's sort of creating an image or a version of you, but it's not like the real you.
right.
And maybe it has its place for certain types of marketing, but yeah, as far as getting to know more about you as a business owner and a person and a brand, I think this is awesome. Do you have any memorable stories with any particular client at any time that kind of just stands out in your memory as something funny or special, or just anything you want to share?
Oh gosh. I have I feel like I have one with every client, right? Like
That's great.
there's, even with the best laid plans, right? Like we'll take a shot list and I have a very detailed questionnaire I have my clients fill out ahead of time because that helps me. And when I say detailed questionnaire, I mean, I'm talking like, what photos do you love of yourself? Which photos do you hate of yourself and why? Are there any areas of your body I need to be conscious about? What is it that you're trying to convey? What is your, like, it's very, very detailed. And we go through that and we do a pre-session consultation. So even with that, we leave room to be spontaneous, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I was with my realtor client. We were doing her quarterly session and we were done. And we happened to be walking up the sidewalk and there was like in downtown Holly Springs, next to our Moments in Time, there was like pumpkins and hay bales set up on the side of the road. And we were like, I just looked, I was like, go sit.
Right. Perfect.
Go sit. And we'll try things, right? Like, and I'll say, we'll try it. If we hate it, we won't include it. Right. But, one of the things that's really fun for me is watching, I like watching people who tell me that they hate having their photo taken, then blossom in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like they're literally blooming, right? I'll have people who tell me like, I don't like this, I don't like that. And our mutual friend Katie came to me for headshots and literally jumped up and down when I showed her just in camera. She said, it looks like me. It looks like me jumping up and down. And I was like, okay, great. I'm so glad we accomplished what it was you wanted to, right? Like, I'm like, awesome. So there are those moments, right? That really, that speak to how people view themselves and what they want to portray to others, right? So my podcast co-host, Sarah, we did her branding session a year before we started the podcast, right? Like this was just, we hadn't had the podcast, but we did her branding session and she wanted to go, she was like, so she posed the question, she's like, I want to be, would it be too much for me to be like warrior princess? And she was thinking about wearing like very like Athena-esque, right? Like Greek goddess dress and like one shoulder and crown of thorn. I don't know, the crown and the leaves or whatever. And, we talked it through and she ended up picking this white pantsuit, this white one-piece pantsuit, because it helped her, and we talked through, I was like, if you want to do that, we can. I have no issues doing a warrior goddess kind of like, we'll go to the fountain in downtown Cary. We'll have you be like, it'll be fun, right? But is that what you want for your brand? And that's how she came to the white pantsuit. And then we did some really great power poses. One of the things that I love is when my clients use Pinterest, right? I will send them to Pinterest and say, get a collection of photos that you love, that you want to use as inspiration.
Great idea.
Because surprise, I'm a visual person. Surprise, surprise. So see what they're envisioning.
That's awesome. I love that. It's just a lot of mindset mixed with, and I love that, you not only take all those amazing photos, but then help them strategize about how to use their posting and, just their strategies on social media. So it's really a full service business that you have. And with the stories, I think like there's moments in every story and there's stories in every moment, right? Like you have, absolutely, you might have a huge thing that happens, but life is made up of little moments. So I
Mhm.
love that, that's going to come out, I think, in the photos too. And in whatever their commentary is when they're sharing.
Mhm.
Um, and I've seen that picture of her, and I love that. Yeah. With the white. Was there another one where she had red, or was it just
She had
white?
a pink, she had a pink dress and a green, no, she had a pink dress. Is there a green one? There might have been
I
a green
remember
one. She had
seeing the
like a
white, and I
sweater,
thought there
and
was
like we
another
did
color.
multiple looks. So we did
Yeah.
some that were like relaxed with her in jeans and like a cardigan, and we did,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a pink dress, yeah, and the white pantsuit, and the I feel like there was a green dress in there too, and I don't remember, but
I
pink
think
definitely.
it's great that, really, clothing, it can be a statement on its own. So you put a lot of thought into that
Yep.
in coaching and how to put this together. So I think that's really a great service.
Mhm.
Do you have any events or projects or promotions that you want to share about?
Sure. Well, right now enrollment is live for my stories and strategy course.
Right.
But really, like that's how like so you're talking like I love that you said, it's more than just having the photos, right? Because that's actually
Mhm.
how the stories and strategy came to be. Because
Yeah.
I would go back to my clients and say, "Hey, I see you're not using these photos." We'll use Sarah as another example. And she's like, this is what she said to me.
Uh-oh.
She said, "I don't want to abuse take advantage of our relationship. I don't want to abuse our friendship and come to you and keep asking you for help because I do love these photos and I want to use them, but I don't always know how." And so it kind of bloomed from there.
Mm.
We had a few conversations about that, and then I'm a huge fan of A/B testing and beta testing. So I did a beta test, and I offered a highly discounted, like, here, be my guinea pig program.
Yes. Yes.
And the stories and strategy was born of that. And then it became an online course when COVID hit. So that was my pivot because I couldn't photograph people. So I was like, how do
Mm.
I need to make money, right?
Right.
So I
Sure.
just created the online course out of that. So yeah, and then I did a beta test of that, and then
Okay.
it's grown, and so it's 8 weeks, it's 6 modules. We go from the very foundational, like, this is how you tell your story, like these are the stories that you have, this is how you need to tell them. We talk about how to create content from a marketing perspective, right? Like, it's because it's not so much to just put up a social media post. We
Right.
talk about it from a marketing perspective where we are um talking about like the functions of why you do things the certain way to
Mm-hmm.
create engagement, right? And
Right.
how you get that visibility and engagement. um and then we go through, and I have all kinds of tutorials on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and
Mm-hmm.
Canva and Pinterest and
Yes.
um uh I don't even, like, there's so many, and TikTok, and TikTok's being added for this course.
Okay. Great.
So yeah, so there's like all this stuff. It's 8 weeks. It's 6 modules, and then there's also one-on-one strategy session with me. So you get me for 60, 90 minutes, and we bang out what you need to
Dig
do
in.
for your business.
Right.
But
Right.
it's a weekly Zoom call, and there's a pre-recorded video and a workbook that goes along with it, and with each week, and then at the end of the 8 weeks, I set you free. My baby
Be
bird's
free.
flying from the nest. I set you
Go
free.
forth and multiply.
Right.
So how can people reach you? What are some of the ways they can connect?
The best ways to find me, you can find me at Jenny Midgley on any platform. I, I mean, this is one area where I practice what I preach, right? It's my personal brand. So it's just Jenny Midgley everywhere. And then there's my website is jennymidgley.com. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I use Linktree. So that's really the
Yes.
way you can easily access me.
Right.
It's the
Yeah, that's
Linktree /J Midgley.
mhm.
I have a Facebook group where we talk about content marketing.
Yep.
Surprise. You can also scan this QR code right there.
I know. I was going to say, tell us about that. Yeah.
So that will
Awesome.
lead you to my link tree. Scan the QR code, and then everything is right there listed. Anything you
That's
might need.
awesome. I love that.
Podcast, everything's there.
Okay. So so now if people watch this later, they can just hold their phone up to the screen.
Yeah. Yep. If you have an iPhone,
awesome.
if you have an
I
iPhone,
love that. Yeah. Well, even though that's there,
the camera, so you
I'm
just
gonna have to play with that.
Yeah. So you literally just hold it up to the camera, and you know,
I have to do it.
Or hold your camera up to the screen, and it will automatically scan the QR code.
Scanner. Okay, I have code scanner on my phone.
Or if you have an Android, it's a code scanner. Yeah.
So let's see. Oh my gosh, there it is. I love that. That is so fun. Look at that, everybody.
Yep.
Yep. Amazing. Awesome tip. And even though that's there, let's go ahead and add in the thread of this video that's shared on Facebook, put all your places there too, or whatever links you want to share. And definitely more about the program that people can join. Is there a start date for that?
Our first Zoom call is next Thursday. So it goes October 13th. That's my birthday. October 15th is the first Zoom call. So it goes October 15th to December 3rd. And yeah. So
yeah, everybody, I encourage you to connect with Jenny, sign up for the program, grow your business. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share
after October 15th? There will be another run before the end of the year. And then,
So
I'll start another group in December, and then it's going to run every 4 weeks after that. Wow.
That's impressive. Awesome. So I'm sure it'll polish and get better and better with time. I'm gonna have to jump into one of those. Yeah, it's good. You can always learn, right? No matter where you're at, right? So is there any closing, remarks or sentiments you'd like to share with us?
The number one thing that I want people to take away from whether you work with me or anybody else is that start with what's in alignment for your business and your brand. Because if you don't know what's in alignment, then there's room for a conversation, right? Like there are, I surround myself with people who are way smarter than me. And I do that because it helps me grow and it helps me bring more resources and more information for my clients. So, if you want to grow your personal brand, and if you are a service-based business, you need to have you are the face of your business. You are your brand. So, just do what's in alignment for you, and people will flock to you. They're going to respond to that.
I agree. I think that's really strong advice that a lot of business owners kind of miss that, but hopefully through this and all the other things we do, we kind of spread that word. And thank you so much for coming on. I love this conversation, and I'm looking forward to people connecting with you, learning more about you, Jenny. And again, this is Michelle, Triangle Social Media, Social Soundbites with Michelle. And I will have some links for myself as well in the thread. And I just hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.